Jacksonville State, welcome to the FBS with your opening game at home against the UTEP Miners. In my opinion, I think this is a very favorable game for you to win. I think UTEP is 1-point favorites on the road, so ultimately it's a toss-up game. The first thing to note is, for a lot of you that do not know, aren't familiar with Jacksonville State, they've won the conference championship 7 out of the last 9 years in the FCS. Rich Rodriguez, former Michigan head coach, is the head coach there. Zion Webb has been there for what seems like 15 years. Their quarterback, they return, I think it was 65% of their return in production, or their production from last year. So it should hopefully be a pretty good Jacksonville State team this year that can compete in the FBS in their inaugural season in Conference USA. UTEP, on the other hand, pretty much the same story. They returned about 65% of their production from last year. They returned their quarterback as well. Apologies for my dog chewing on the ball, and it just kind of is what it is. But Jacksonville State, also known as Jack State, really good FCS team. The last, I think, every time they've made it to the FCS playoffs since 2004, they've made it to at least the second round. In 2015, they lost the national championship against North Dakota State down in Frisco. It's a good team. UTEP's no sleeper team either. It's going to be a really good game to get out to in Jacksonville on Saturday. Kickoff is at 4 o'clock. But let's talk a little bit about UTEP last year. Gavin Hardison, their quarterback, very, very similar to what we're going to see from Zion Webb. He kind of struggled throwing the football. He was 164 for 315. That's 52% completion percentage. Threw for 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Running the ball, Deion Hankins, that's going to be their starter this year. The number 2 last year, coming back rest for 700 yards, 3 touchdowns, had 4 receptions for 42 yards. He was the backup to Ronald Awatt last year. Looking at UTEP's depth chart, though, you got Jeremiah Ballard, redshirt sophomore, Tyron Smith, a redshirt junior transfer. You have another transfer coming in. Can't pronounce his name, his last name, so I'm not even going to try it. And then, like I said, you do have Gavin Hardison and Deion Hankins. Offensively for Jacksonville State last year, Zion Webb. I'll go ahead and throw this on for you guys. Zion Webb, you can see his stats since he's been here. For some reason, stats on 2021 Jacksonville State are just oblivious. They don't even count their record, or they don't even count 2021 on Wikipedia for some reason. You can see his stats there. Like I said, he seems like he's been there for 15 years. But last year, 11 for 201, 1,700 yards, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He completed 55% of his passes. Like I said, with Gavin Hardison, he completed 52%. So ultimately, this could be a game of whoever just throws the ball better could win it. It's going to be very, very low scoring. It's going to be a 4-quarter game in that, in my opinion, in that aspect of things. You look at how many turnovers that Jacksonville State was able to force last year, and I think that's ultimately what won them most of their games. They put up 36 points per game. They put up, 251 rushing yards per game last year. Very, very run-heavy team. Like I said, it's probably going to come down to whoever can just throw the ball a little bit better. Again, Utah last year, leading receiver, Tyron Smith, he's back. Ronaldo Flores was number 2. And then Kelly, the guy I can't pronounce his last name, who was their number 3 last year, he's back as well. So 2 of your top 3 receivers for UTEP are coming back this year. The only guy really that 2 guys got most of their targets. It was Tyron Smith and Ronaldo Flores. Well, Flores I don't see on their depth chart, and Tyron Smith is back at the Y spot. So that's who I would imagine would get most of their stuff this year as well. Going to receiving for Jacksonville State, you have Sterling Galvin. I think he's a transfer from Texas Tech. You have Sean Brown, Ahmad Edwards. None of those guys are back except for Galvin. Then you have Perry Carter, excuse me. You have P.J. Wells. You have Jamari Joyner, who's a transfer from Arizona. It's going to be a stacked kind of Jacksonville State offense. Veteran squad. You got Malik Jackson, transfer from ULM. He's in at running back. I really like this Jacksonville State offense. Defensively, you got Quay Drake, transfer from Kennesaw State and ULM. You got Austin Ambush, transfer from Maine. You've got senior, junior, senior, junior, junior, senior, senior, junior. It's another veteran squad for Jacksonville State defensively. Offensively is kind of the same thing. There's no freshmen starting for JSU. Flip that over to UTEP. Same situation there. Junior, junior, senior, 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 junior, senior, junior, junior, redshirt, sophomore. Veteran squads across the board. And that's what you want to see, especially early in the season. Having veteran squads, that's what's going to win you games. Defensively, for UTEP, full of transfers, just like JSU is. You've got Jaleel Williams-Evans, who is a transfer from College of San Fran. You've got A.J. Odoms, transfer from New Mexico. You've got Keenan Stewart, transfer from Iowa Western Community College. Tavita Tafuna, transfer from San Mateo. Lots of JUCO transfers for UTEP. Lots of P5, G5 guys transferred for Jacksonville State. Now, when you look at Jacksonville State, don't look at them and say, oh, this is two teams, or this is a team that last year was in the FCS. FCS is a different bunch of ball. It's really not, especially when you look at the ASUN conference, the conference that they won last year. I don't think they were eligible to actually win it, but they won it, if you know what I mean. That's a conference that within the next couple of years, every team in that conference could make that leap to Division I or FBS. It's a conference that you're going to play very, very competitive games. They beat Florida State in 2021. It's just you don't count them out just because you can't really, put a gauge on how well they compete against other FCS teams. I mean, they got destroyed by Tulsa, but they beat Kennesaw State. They beat North Alabama. They beat Austin Peay. They beat Central Arkansas. They beat Eastern Kentucky. You beat Stephen F. Austin, Davidson, Murray State. You only lost to Tulsa and Southeastern Louisiana. That's not bad. So, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I wouldn't expect Jacksonville State to come in and just roll over. It's a home game for JSU. UTEP, you're going to the road. I think, ultimately, week number 1, UTEP's 1-point favorite. I'm taking Jacksonville State in this one. Not because they're hometown team, not because they're 30 minutes away, but because I think Zion Webb, if he's able to complete the ball at 60%, that's good enough to win you this football game. Establish the run game. Get your defense going pretty well. I mean, last year, Jacksonville State was 40 for 45 inside the red zone last year offensively. Defensively, they allowed their opponents to score 33 of 46 times. I think that could be another key factor is JSU in the red zone. So I'm taking JSU. I'm taking JSU to cover, obviously. Not sure what the over-under is, but I would lean towards that under. I think this could be a 24-20 type of game, a 24-17, 20-16. You never know. It's opening day. Hopefully there's a lot of eyes on this game, but I'm taking JSU to win. I think it's going to be a very close one. I think it's going to be all 4 quarters, and I think it's going to be very low scoring, very ground and pound. And if you're a old school guy that likes to just hard-nosed football, this is going to be the game for you.